Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Are you ready?
Hey everybody, it's Jeff. Nice warm day here in Maine again. And now it's starting to turn cloudy, so we might get some rain. I think it's there's a storm that's coming up this way towards Maine here. That's kind of went over the Great Lakes or something, and now it's coming up here. So we're probably going to get thunderstorm maybe, and they said maybe a bit of high wind on top of that, so I don't know. Probably by, what time is it now, 7:17, probably about 9 o'clock here, we'll probably be getting some of that shit. So anyway, that's what we're getting ready for here. So I got a video I want to play here. It's about 8 minutes, and so I want you to watch that, and then I'll go to my topic here after that, so I'll catch you on the other side.
Now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of their country. Well, that's not just an old-school typing drill. It's a perfect thought for the day. And that's just what Bernie Sanders has done most recently on CNN. He's been the voice of reason and a respected politician throughout his career. It's a career that's seen incredible changes in the American political system and the evolving cultural landscape. And through it all, Senator Bernie Sanders has been a significant force in politics because he speaks his mind and lets the chips fall where they may.
If we can't, no, I have the mic. I'm sorry.
This is what he said.
You'll have your time.
Okay.
Can I respond?
Oh, no, you can't. This is a hearing. And God knows the American people have enough contempt for Congress. Let's not
I don't
make it
like
worse.
thugs and bullies.
And that's
I don't like you, because you just described yourself.
In this case, the chips fall on the New York Times and their heavy-handed bias against Biden. And in the clips you'll see from this latest interview just on CNN, Bernie lays out the Times and offers his vital perspective on the most important presidential race in American history. Bernie nails key points about the political chaos we find ourselves embroiled in, the president's ability to run to the finish line, the tainted political coverage from the New York Times, and in this clip, the failing role the media has played by focusing on style above substance.
What media does, to a large degree, is make politics into a beauty contest, into a Grammy award-winning contest. You are voting for somebody on policy. Who is going to improve your life? Do you want somebody who thinks that climate change is a hoax, who takes away women's right to control their own bodies, who has appointed extremely anti-union leaders to his administration?
It's kind of hard to hear a reference to a beauty contest and not think about that creepy orange pageant owner and the perverse delight he seems to take from spying on his innocent and vulnerable contestants.
Donald Trump loves a beauty pageant. And by his own admission, he was no stranger backstage while owning parts of 3 different pageants for nearly 2 decades.
You know, they're standing there with no clue. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
But I digress. Let's instead focus on a man of character, not the peeping Don. So how does Senator Sanders feel about President Biden forging ahead in this contest between democracy and autocracy? And what should Biden's message be to voters? Well, here's the senator from Vermont as he sets the record straight.
Right now, President Biden is the Democratic nominee. Until I hear differently, I will support him. And I do believe that if he makes it clear that he is prepared to stand up for working people, take on powerful special interests yeah, he will win the election.
And if he does not run, would you support the
I'm not
vice
gonna-
president if he gets behind her?
Right now, Biden is the Democratic nominee, period.
You know, after watching that clip, one of the myths we definitely need to bust is which candidate is obliged by character to look out for the underdog, the disenfranchised, and the working class. I think we all know that answer intuitively. Obliged by character. That actually might be a good measuring stick as we move ahead. And as applied to Senator Sanders, we find an always wise, reliably stoic, and often memed elder statesman in a country that needs as much wisdom as it can get.
We can be a nation in where everyone, no matter their race, their religion, their disability, or their sexual orientation, realizes the full promise of equality that is our birthright as Americans.
But it's his harsh criticism of the New York Times in the clip that we're about to see that Bernie levels the playing field and schools the Times directly about its focus on big money stories that could hurt Biden, instead of reporting on his connection to the average American for whom democracy was designed and for whom it's obliged by that design to serve. In our final clip from his latest interview with CNN, Bernie pulls no punches in his analysis of the New York Times coverage and the disservice it does to its audience.
What are you hearing from your fellow Democratic senators tonight?
Well, what I'm hearing from the people of this country, and I get around the country a lot, is that they want politicians to stand up for a working class and take on powerful special interests who are in many ways running our country. You know, I find it interesting. There have been, I think, 5 or 6 articles in the New York Times talking about what the donor class, right? This is what the donors are thinking. Really? The last I heard, American democracy was supposed to be about what ordinary people think, not just wealthy people. So I think the crisis that we're facing right now is that we need a Democratic Party to make it clear they're going to stand up for the working class of this country. They're going to tackle big money interest, and they are going to pass legislation which improves lives for all people, not just a few.
In this election, all the marbles are not on the table. Only the big blue one that floats near Venus and rotates around the sun. And voices like Senator Sanders, well, they're the gravitational pull this country and our world needs to align with ideals that advance us and not reverse us. Yeah, there's a march for power for sure, absolute power, by the wealthy elite and the politically extreme who find themselves cozily in bed together, excited by the chance to bang the daylights out of the working class and the disenfranchised for their own perverse personal gain. But nothing stops an unwanted advance like that better than a swift kick in the cojones. And that's what Bernie Sanders, a unified Democratic Party, and every working class American, the ones with the most to lose, can do to fend off those who would pretend to represent your pain and empathize with your suffering, but would ultimately sell you out in a Mar-a-Lago minute.
Okay, so that video there, Bernie Sanders, I love listening to him talk and stuff. He always seems to have a pretty good grasp on the realities in our country here and what needs to be done to fix it. Let me go to this article here from Politico. It was published today, entitled "George Clooney Calls for Biden to Step Down, Citing Signs of His Age at a Fundraiser." This is written by Isabella Ramirez. Actor George Clooney, a longtime fundraiser for the Democrat Party, called for a new nominee to replace Joe Biden and revealed the president he saw at a fundraiser back in June, quote, was the same man we all witnessed at the debate, unquote, in an op-ed published in the New York Times. Who the hell, you know, what? They go running to the New York Times. On Wednesday, Clooney writes, the Biden he was with last month, quote, was not the Joe big fucking deal Biden of 2010, unquote, or, quote, even the Joe Biden of 2020, unquote. In the face of concerns over a second Donald Trump presidential term, he says the Democrat Party has, quote, opted to ignore every warning sign, unquote. Quote, was he tired? Yes. A cold? Maybe. But our party leaders need to stop telling us that 51 million people didn't see what we just saw, unquote, Clooney writes of Biden's disastrous debate performance. Clooney says he considers Biden a friend, some friend, huh? And that this is, quote, about age, nothing more, but also nothing that can be reversed, unquote. Quote, we are not going to win in November with this president, unquote, he writes. About 2 weeks before last month's debate, Clooney co-hosted a star-studded Los Angeles fundraiser for the Biden campaign that raised $30 million, breaking the record for the Democratic Party's largest fundraising event, and they're going to squander it. With the, quote, new and upsetting information, unquote, about Biden, however, Clooney argues it is, quote, disingenuous, unquote, to say Democrats are already settled on the nomination, and calls out Democratic lawmakers who are, quote, opting to wait and see if the dam breaks, unquote. Well, this is only my option. This is only my opinion, I'm sorry. This is only my opinion. This is the opinion of every senator and congress member and governor that I've spoken with in private. Every single one, irrespective of what he or she is sadly saying publicly, unquote. Clooney writes, quote, we can put our heads in the sand and pray for a miracle in November, or we can speak the truth, unquote. Rob Reiner, another prominent Hollywood Democrat who held a campaign fundraiser with Vice President Kamala Harris 2 days after the debate, agreed with Clooney in a post on X on Wednesday. He wrote, Clooney's op-ed, quote, clearly expressed what many of us have been saying. We need someone younger to fight back. Joe Biden must step aside, unquote. Reiner's latest comments renewed his call from earlier this week for Biden to step down, writing in an X post that, quote, it's time to stop fucking around, unquote. A spokesperson for the Biden campaign directed Politico to the president's Monday letter to Hill Democrats, in which he stated he was, quote, firmly committed to staying in this race, unquote. At least 8 House Democrats have publicly called on Biden to bow out from the race after a stumbling debate performance sparked worries over his age and ability to seek re-election. Senate Democrats met on Tuesday to discuss the president's standing on the ticket, but left largely stuck in limbo about the best next move. Clooney opened the door to hear from other Democrats who could replace Biden, specifically listing Harris and Governors Wes Moore, Gretchen Whitmer, Gavin Newsom, Andy Beshear, and J.B. Pritzker. He conceded it could make the Democratic National Convention messy, but welcomed it as, quote, a benefit for us, not a danger, unquote, really. Quote, but would it enliven our party and wake up voters who long before the June debate had already checked out? It sure would, unquote, Clooney writes. Quote, Joe Biden is a hero. He saved democracy in 2020, unquote. Quote, we need him to do it again in 2024, unquote. People, what can I say? Democrats are trying so hard to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory again. Fucking again. Why the fuck can't this party ever stay together on a fucking thing? It's like herding cats with these people. You don't change goddamn primary candidates 4 months outside of an election and expect the electorate to fucking stay united. It's not gonna happen. Oh God, people, why are you you Democrats, this is the reason why I have such a love-hate relationship with that party. Because they understand what needs to be done, but they just can't fucking get their ass in gear and do it. Jesus Christ. How the hell did we beat Trump the first time? Huh? How the fuck did we get Biden in there the first time? It was over issues, right? Trump showed us he couldn't do the fucking job. We picked someone we already knew was old. He was in his late 70s, for Christ's sake. But he still beat him because we couldn't go down that road with Trump anymore. But now they're looking at these people that I bet you a lot of Democrats don't even fucking know who they are. You're not going to replace Biden with a nobody. Okay? The only way this idea, this plan of Clooney's works is if you resurrect JFK. You pull him out of the fucking grave and you bring him back. Barring that, short of that, it's not going to work. It's never worked. That plan will not work. I'm sorry. Okay? You know, Clooney, you're a big fucking donor to the Democrat Party. But if you're saying this shit, then that means money's moving out. And who's doing that? Who's convincing the big money people there to pull out of this thing? You. And others in the political party. Okay? You're grumbling behind the doors. You're sweating bullets. At the same time, you're telling the voters, oh, don't worry, everything's okay. You guys, he was president. Okay? You guys put him in there knowing that 4 years later, you're going to have to either reelect him, you know, or what? You set the stage. And now you want to drop out behind, turn out against him? What the hell kind of friends are you? What the hell kind of supporters are you? Don't you understand? You're all talking about Kamala Harris. Don't you understand if you put Biden back in there, you're also putting Kamala Harris back in there too? Doesn't that tell you something? That Biden alone is not the only be-all and end-all of the presidency. He has an administration that goes in there with him. Are you going to punish all those other people because the guy on the top is 81 years old? Or are you going to let these other people who have been working with this man for the last 3.5 years get their chance to go back in there and continue the job? Why change fucking gears, you know, when over a plan that has never worked in this country, okay, to switch, you know, primary, you know, against your own goddamn president, you know? Jesus. You know, any other time with any other candidate, you could probably pull that stunt and it probably wouldn't matter because the Republicans wouldn't have anybody, or, you know, but they got this guy, okay? The right wing doesn't care if he's old. The right wing doesn't care that he's been convicted 34 times in court. They don't care that he raped a woman and maybe others. They don't care that he hung around with Jeffrey Epstein and that there was a lot of shenanigans that went on that, you know, bear some fucking investigation. You know, he could have been part of the whole fucking human trafficking thing that was going on with Epstein. Okay? They don't care about any of that. They don't care. All they're going to do is vote for him. All right? But you people, you Democrats, you're willing to take that risk? You're willing to take the risk of upsetting the balance here of what's going on and pushing Biden out and bringing somebody that, you know, people really don't know. I mean, you listed some names in this article here at Politico, ideas, and I doubt that energizes anybody. That's not going to get people out to vote. The last thing you want is to discourage the Democrats to vote, okay? I mean, people are going to go to the ballot with a question mark over their head. Who's the Democrat I'm going to vote for, and who is this person? What was their accomplishment? What did they do? You think you're going to be able to win people over enough to go after a guy who is already well known, maybe infamous at this point, but who's got a united party standing behind him? And if the Republicans that were wishy-washy about whether or not they should vote for Trump, what they see the left doing right now, they're going to say, fuck it, I'm just going to vote for Trump because the left doesn't even know what they want. Okay? That's what they're going to say. The left doesn't even know who the hell they're voting for. Okay? They're seeing weakness where there's blood in the water and the sharks are coming. And you guys are just giving him the fucking means to put him back in there. I predicted at the beginning of this year that the year was going to end in disaster. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to happen. It's going to fucking happen. And that's because Democrats are what they are. They are uncoordinated. They don't come together on issues. They're always trying to outdo each other. And this is what destroys that party. This is what happens every fucking time. Okay? You got a party that's unified. It might be even traitorous. It might even be criminal, but they are unified. And with unity comes strength. The other side, they might stand for all the golden things that we all want, but they can't stay unified, and therefore they are weak. If you cannot be unified, you have nothing. You've got nothing. You've got no issue. You've got no reason to be running for anything. If you can't stay unified, if you can't keep your fucking base together and your base is split, What do they say about a house divided? It falls. It fell when Hillary ran against Trump, and she lost against him because the House back then split, divided, and fell. Okay, half wanted Bernie Sanders, the other half wanted Hillary Clinton, and when they couldn't get Bernie, those people stayed home and they didn't vote. You're setting this up to happen all over again, and that's exactly how Trump's going to win. The Democrats fall apart, they split the base, okay, because people that were firmly in Biden's corner are not going to, vote for anybody else. And then the other half will vote for the, people that, think like George Clooney and the other person here, and Cavill. Okay, they're gonna fucking Carville rather. They're gonna think, let's not vote for Biden. You split the goddamn base, and that's the last thing you want going into this election. That's why I'm saying Trump's gonna win now. Okay, I was sure maybe that Biden had a chance. I'm not so sure. I don't think he's gonna win now because the Democrats are chickening out. Okay, the big money donors. I mean, that's the worst thing to have happen there. Clooney just fucking got $30 million for Joe Biden to fucking run for president, and then 2 weeks later he comes out against him. Give me a fucking break, Clooney. What the hell is the matter with your head? You either stand behind somebody or you don't. You don't say he's your friend and then cut his throat. I'm sorry. You forget that when you met him 2 weeks ago, he supposedly wasn't feeling good. That's what the Democrats were saying. He had a cold, okay? So he wasn't feeling well then. You try running on a campaign and see how well you are. He got sick. He was all over the damn place, flying here, flying there, and he had to show up for a debate. Jesus, yeah, he's 81 years old, but does that mean when he goes to work every day, okay, that he has to, be ready for a debate? I can guarantee you the stress level is much less than that. Being in the office, when you sit down with your staff and you're discussing things you got to do, okay, it's not like being in front of a camera next to your opponent and you're being hammered with questions and lies and all kinds of... It doesn't work like that, okay? You hear Biden with his speeches. He knows what needs to be done. He's already accomplished so much already, and just because he's 81, now all of a sudden he can't do anything else. Okay, I'm sorry, I ain't buying that. I'm not buying that. Yeah, it was a terrible fucking debate. I'll give you that. It really looked bad, and I wasn't surprised that New York Times would come out and say something. But the fact that after they did, and now everybody's coming out and saying the same thing, you're giving credence to a newspaper that won't even go after Donald Trump and ask him to step out of the race after all the shit he's done. So you're going to take their issue and hail that as, that's, from these people? They're supposed to be journalists. Where is the middle ground here for them? They're obviously on the side of Trump because they haven't said anything about him. But they've been biting at Biden's heels for months and months and months, and they just won't quit. So Clooney, don't be an idiot. Don't be the guy that's going to take the fall. Okay, you're going to be responsible for Biden not getting this thing because of what you did today. I'm telling you, you're going to regret that. Oh yeah, I'm sure you'll say, he didn't have a chance to win anyway. No, you coming out today doing this press conference thing or whatever the hell you did, okay, what you did was you betrayed a man you said is your friend. And if I was Joe Biden, I'd hang up on you for good, okay? When he needed you the most, you turn your back on him. I hope you can sleep well at night, George, okay? That's a really shitty thing to do to somebody. All right? You fucking know this guy did a good job in this country. But just because of one debate, okay, you're going to pin all your fucking fears, you're going to take all that out of there, and you're going to say we can't have them. Really? What can I say? You said, I saw this guy at a party, and he didn't look good. Okay? Well, yeah. Maybe he didn't, okay? Some people 81 years old, you know, they can't function all fucking night, on all day, you know, on a campaign trail. Does that mean that he has no good idea for this country, that he can't do his job for another 4 years? You know, he wasn't the only one that was in there doing that work. Kamala Harris was there, and you're talking about wanting to put her at the top of the ticket. Well, what the hell's the difference if she's at the top, the bottom, the side, or the other? You know, she's still going to be there. Even if Biden is there, she's still going to be there. They'll be working together, for Christ's sake. So you'll still get your wish if he wins. Why did you have to come out and say that? You know, God almighty. Let's go to a commercial break.
This is me.
This is me.
This is me!
This is me.
I'm Alex Curtis. I'm a lobsterman in Maine, and this is me.
I'm Ruth McLaughlin, and this is me.
I'm Eric Hopkins. I'm an artist, and this is me.
This is me.
Me.
This is me.
This is me.
This is me.
At the end of the journey, the main thing is you. Original.
Carrie Lake and Donald Trump. At first, they admitted they wanted a national abortion ban.
I don't think abortion pills should be legal.
There has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman.
Yeah, there has to be some form.
Now, they're pretending they won't back the ban if they're elected. They're lying.
This total ban on abortion is out of line with where the people of this state are.
Did Arizona go too far?
Yeah, they did, and that'll be straightened out.
I agree with President Trump. This is such a personal and private issue.
Two frauds desperately running from the truth and from their real position. She backed the ban, and he's still bragging about ending Roe.
That I was able to terminate Roe v. Wade, and I'm proud to have done it. I was so honored to have done it.
They'll ban all abortion, even to save a mother's life. They'll end IVF, and they'll ban birth control. Donald Trump and Carrie Lake, they're the same. They're dishonest, deceptive, and dangerous for every woman.
I'm proud to be promoting the God Bless the USA Bible. It's my favorite book. I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody.
Donald Trump found guilty all 34 counts of falsifying business records.
Donald Trump's hush money payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels.
She'd had an affair with Trump.
I am the chosen one.
The Trump Organization frauded the state of New York.
$354 million.
I'm very greedy. We must make America pray again. How stupid are the people of the country to believe this crap?
Be a part of the entertainment value of a lifetime.
I loved it. It was the best performance I've seen in a lifetime.
I loved the show. I liked it very much. He's a very entertaining man. It's well worth the money.
Now appearing in Charlottetown, coming to Halifax November 6th to the 18th, and St. John November 20th through the 26th.
Okay, welcome back. So let's look here at some comments here about this this story here from people here across the country, because I think they also deserve to be recognized here. Here's one from San Francisco, Slide Guy. It says, "My opinion is very bit as valid as Mr. Clooney's. We're coming to the end of the most successful presidency since Lyndon Johnson's, and he wants to throw it all out, and he wants to do it out of fear, a fear generated by the major media's need for conflict and clicks. If the Times, and New York Times, continues its anti-Biden coverage, we will certainly lose. And the first thing a fascist government does when it acquires power is to go after the press. Could it be that fear that drives you to refrain from reporting honestly on the gravest danger to American democracy since the Civil War?" And this one from Donna from Long Island. "Step aside for who? Kamala? I love her and Joe, but this country will never elect a black woman, period. Joe is our best shot to beat Donald Trump and keep democracy alive. Either get behind Joe or be quiet. I'm so disappointed in you and your elite Hollywood crew." This one from CN, from WNC, I guess I don't know what that is. "Another white guy who thinks proximity to power grants him power. Why would you seek to overturn the will of the 14 million people who voted for him? Why does your voice matter more than theirs, George?" This one from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Yogi 108. "Where was Clooney a year ago? Covering up Biden's infirmities like so many others. He has no credibility." Fresno, California, Rick. "Clooney, why now? If your words today are truly sincere, why did you wait almost a month where you saw it up close and personal? Why did you wait 2 weeks after his abysmal meltdown at the debate? You have been in contact with many movers and shakers, and you all knew this well before the last month. So why now? Because along with every other cowardly progressive, you were quite willing to bury your head and hope that fake Biden could fool his way to another victory, which would mean 4 more years of behind-the-scenes machinations by whomever is running the show now. Because once everybody saw how far Biden had deteriorated, there was no more clothing the emperor in magical robes. The hypocrisy of the far left is truly a sight to behold. Here's from Rhode Island, Paul. While I agree with everything said by George Clooney, we also need to focus more on how mentally unfit Benedict Donald is. The man is broken, sentence, and consecutive lying machine, as well as a traitor. The DNC needs to go hard and harsh after the orange nut job. Use his own words. Use the video from January 6th. There is more than plenty of material. You know, so what you're seeing is already, it's you know, when Clooney, he comes out, he says this shit, right? And now he's got the whole country in a fucking uproar. All right? And like one of the comments said, you know, that's his opinion. I got my opinion. And I have my opinion. And you got your opinion. We all got our opinions. But because George Clooney's a celebrity and he gets the camera, his opinion becomes front page news all over the fucking world, okay? To me, that's not fair. But if you want to be heard, try and be, at least show some dignity anyway, and be consistent. You supported this guy. Like the other one said, for what? Over a month. You gave a fucking fundraiser for him, $30 million, and then 2 weeks later you come out and say this? I mean, that's a damn shitty fucking thing. And if you care so much about America like you say you do, you wouldn't have just kicked the legs out from under it during an election cycle in this fashion. Okay? You would stand behind Biden, okay, and you'd be out there helping him like you were doing. Okay, but this is not the way you help somebody. And like I said, if you want to give Biden a better chance to win, then you go after Trump, because he's got, like the other one said, he's got a plethora of things that you can choose from to go after him with. Not to mention what came out last week about him and Epstein. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff you could say to dirty that guy's image the more. Instead, you want to go dirty your own side up, you know, and do what you're doing just to make it that much harder for the Democrats to win in November. Okay? And your solution to replacing Biden has no answer. Replace him with who? Like they said, Kamala Harris, and unfortunately the person that wrote that is possibly right. She's a woman and she's black. She's got two things against her right there, thanks, you know, to the racists in this country. Okay? Otherwise, she's a smart person. Okay? And I'm sure she's done pretty well with Biden and worked and helped him to do things. Okay? But nobody ever looks at the vice president or anybody else in the cabinet of an administration and sees what they've done to help things, right? It's always on the president's shoulders that they focus their lens on. And unfortunately, Biden, you know, his stature is tarnished now because of one debate. Okay? And now all of a sudden, Clooney saying, well, he looked like that at the debate the way he did last week. You know, now all of a sudden, you know, people are starting to see, oh, well, the Democrats have been lying to us all the time. So you see right there, that's given more to the fucking right wing to go and attack the Democrats. See, that can't be truthful. They were, all this time they knew Biden wasn't well. They just gave them all this, basically said to the world, yeah, the Republicans have been right about Biden all along. He was too old to be running. When the Democrats are out there trying to say there's nothing wrong with the guy. Okay? Well, thank you, George Clooney, because you just uttered in front of the cameras around all millions of people here that were watching that, yes, the Democrats had been lying about the condition of Joe Biden. Okay? And instead of saying something sooner where there might have been a better chance for somebody else to possibly get in the race at the last second, and now you waited until the debate, the first debate, where the debates are always crucial because it's all about optics, right? And people don't care about how many lies are said at a debate. They only care about who's sweating, who looks like they're struggling. Okay, that's all it is. No, I doubt anybody that even watched that debate even remembers how many lies Trump told, because there were many. Somebody counted, was like over almost 40 lies in just that time he was on the stage. But who the hell even knows what they were? Because everybody was so focused on Joe Biden, watching him, trying to gather himself to answer a question, and he couldn't keep his mind focused. You know, they were all about that. So the debate didn't help the Democrats, and it didn't hurt the Republicans, because everybody knew he's a liar anyway, right? So, but no, we were there watching to see how Biden was going to look. All right, and so he didn't look good. But regardless, the next day he has the next morning rather, he comes out and does a speech and nails it out of the park again. So that tells you, you know, he probably wasn't, you know, maybe he was tired from all the flying he was doing all over the place. You know, they said he had a bit of a cold. Clooney wouldn't even confirm that, because how the hell would he know? Christ, he's not a doctor, right? So, you know, running a campaign, I remember, you know, Bill Clinton, you know, as young as he was then when he was running for president, you know, he'd always have a sore throat, and he was hoarse all the time when he talked, you know, because he's constantly on the fucking trail all the time. And that wore out a man that was young, like him, okay? So how do you think it's going to be for an 81-year-old guy to try to campaign back for his job? Once he's got the job, it doesn't require that kind of legwork, but because you're campaigning for it, you got to expect that they're not always going to be at their top. I mean, look at Hillary Clinton. I mean, she stumbles a couple of times, and the right wing said she's dying, she's going to die. You know, no, she's still around, by the way. But so all that horse manure that was in the tabloids about Hillary Clinton that was going to die because, you know, a few things that happened while she was... You see what I'm saying about optics? Okay, and if your side gives credence to, oh, well, yeah, she isn't doing good, or she's, you know, and if they don't stand behind her like they tried to do, guess what happens? People won't vote. They won't vote for her, and that's what happened. That, you know, and on top of the goddamn the thing with Bernie Sanders and all that, the Democrats, you know, they fucked that whole thing up, that whole campaign up at the end, the very end, when it was needed the most that they stay unified. They couldn't. They just couldn't do it. They could not fucking do it. You know? And here we're going to do it again. So this is why I know Trump's going to win the presidency this year. He's got it. He's got it. And it was because of that fucking debate and the fear of that one performance on stage that went right down the backbone of the Democrat Party, right to the core. Okay? To every fucking donor that gives money, they're not donating now, I can tell you right now. If George Clooney come out and said what he said, that means the money's pulling out. They're not backing Biden. And I doubt they'll back anybody that they select to replace him with, especially if they got these nobodies on a list. Okay? That's it. We had our chance to win this thing, and we couldn't beat a criminal. We couldn't beat a rapist. The Democrats couldn't beat, you know, a guy that's convicted of 34 crimes. Okay? Couldn't beat a criminal. And so Trump's going to get into the White House. He's going to pardon himself and all the crimes that he did, so that way the Justice Department will have nothing to go after him on anymore, because it'll all be swept right under the rug. And then he's going to go after everybody that fucking went after him. Okay? So all you people, all you Democrats out there, you know, that went after him, criticized him, insulted him, everybody. Okay? You're all fair game now. You've got nothing. No protection. Okay? Because presidents are kings now, remember? Alright? And the only way Biden's going to win this thing now is if he gets SEAL Team 6 to go out there and assassinate fucking Trump, okay? That's it. That's the only angle he's got. Because the Democrats, they fucked it all up for him, and now he's got nobody now. There's more stuff, more people. A senator today, just about an hour ago, come out and said that he needs to step down. You've got this echo all the way here. You read some names. Stephen King. Okay? You got Chuck Schumer, the Senate Majority Leader. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. Nancy Pelosi. Who else here? Rob Reiner. These are all important Democrat donors and heads, and they're all saying he's got to step down. Okay? Damon Lindelof, okay, he created the show Lost. He's out saying Biden needs to get out. Okay, these are all people who have the money. The Netflix co-founder Reed Hastings asked him to step down. Okay, Michael Moore. He's asked him to step down. Of course, I expected that from Michael Moore anyway. He's been wishy-washy with Democrats for, I don't know what the hell. Abigail Disney, long-standing Democrat donor. Again, he's a good man, admirable, but he needs to step down. They compliment him. They give him a, left-handed compliment. Okay. Sarah Haynes from The View, I guess, saying the same thing. It pains me, but Biden needs to step down. Okay, you see what I'm saying? These are all important people who spread the word, for the Democrats on who to vote for. They're also the same people that donate big money to the Democrat Party. So if they're all saying this, okay, then that means the money is pulling out of this race for the Democrats. The money's pulling out, which means Biden is gonna lose. He's not gonna be able to do this, and I'm sorry, for those of you watching, if this is a real big letdown. But remember, I told you I saw something like this was gonna happen, because you can't trust the Democrats to stay united on a fucking thing. Okay, you can't. They're like herding cats. That's been my experience with that party over in my lifetime. Is that these people, they argue too damn much, and they're easily scared. Okay? They can't stay united when they should. When you're up against a potential dictatorship, you must become a dictator, like in mentality, to beat them. Do you see what I'm saying? If they're going to be united no matter what that person does, then we have to be united no matter what our person does. Okay? But if you fragment, you fall apart, you split, you fracture, you go, that's it. You're already destroyed. They destroyed before the first shot's fired. You're already in pieces. Okay? You don't understand. This was something I understood when I was in the military, about how the military functions, how it wins wars. Unity, teamwork, standing behind your fucking leaders. That's what you do. You don't decide, well, I'm not going to pick up this gun. I don't want this gun. I ain't wearing this uniform. I don't like these boots. I don't like this grenade. I'm not going to use it. If we ran our military the way the Democrats run their party, I'll tell you, there wouldn't be a war we could win. Not a single fucking war. We would never be able to win a fucking war. We had to have all the might in the world to win, but nobody would use it. Nobody would use it because, there's just too much debate over every little detail. We micromanage our party to the fucking, I hate it. I really do hate the Democrats at a time like this. When we need them most, they're gonna fall apart. They can't carry the weight of the country. They just can't. They can't. They are weak. The party is so fucking weak, it's terrible. Maybe we need to live under a dictatorship for a while in order to understand how important it was for us to be strong this time. Okay? Maybe that's because, remember I always say humans have to learn the hard way. Well, maybe there's a reason for that, because we won't evolve unless we do go through these periods of strife. We have to go through hell in order to come out the other side and be better. And we haven't gone through hell. I mean, we think, COVID, yeah, it killed a lot of people. And that got us through it enough to convince us Trump wasn't good for us. But we didn't learn enough. We didn't learn enough with that man, apparently. It just wasn't, the times weren't bad enough. The pandemic alone wasn't bad enough. It didn't kill enough people. Okay? So whatever reason why Trump is still a viable option to them, tells me that, we didn't really learn, we didn't pull together as a country during COVID and learn what's better for us. We didn't. Okay? We didn't learn. What we did was we gave Trump a reprieve for 4 years so he could, regroup and, polish his rhetoric in whatever fucking way he thinks it needed polishing. But you know what I'm saying? We gave him a break while the Democrats were trying to fix everything. And like we always do, we fix everything, and then we lose, and the Republicans go in there and they smash it all back up again. Okay, so like I said, our country's going to have to go through hell. Okay, we're going to have to lose our rights. Women are going to have to be unable to have abortions. Okay, we're going to have to, people that come across the border expect to be put into a fucking camp or whatever the hell they want to call it. You're going to be treated very brutally, I'm afraid. That's going to be what happens if you cross the border. We can't stop it. We don't have the momentum or the will in this country to try to prevent that. We just found that out today. So those things are going to happen. The rich, hey, you get more money, you'll get your tax breaks again. The rest of us, we're going to have to work harder for less. That's going to be the quick future here for next year when the new president, the new old president gets put in there, Trump. Those are the things, the Project 20, you should familiar yourself with Project 2025 because it's all laid out in there, pretty much what they're going to do next year when Trump gets back in there. Okay, all those things that they said that they were going to do, and that's their game plan. And the Supreme Court, we won't be able to get any more justices in there. They'll stop that. And then they will still be stepping on the Constitution. I don't know who else is going to be victim. Maybe the LGBTQ community is going to be the next on the chopping block. I certainly would think, gays are going to go after them again. You guys, you came out, now you're going to have to go back in and hide again because this is what's going to happen now. Okay, I'm sorry. The Democrats, they had everything given to them on a silver fucking platter to bury Trump. They really did. They had it all. God couldn't have given them more than what they got, to keep him from running. But they couldn't do it. They just couldn't do it. So maybe there shouldn't be any Democrats running the country because they ain't got the balls. They have no fucking temerity or any backbone to be running this country. I really don't think they can do it. Look, how many seats do they really need in a goddamn Congress to be able to shut up Marjorie Taylor Greene and that other dumb bitch that they got in there? How much power do you need to get those fuckers tossed out of there? Jesus Christ, if you can't shut up those two women there, after all this time and put them in their place, then you guys don't deserve to be running the goddamn country. Give me a break. Jesus Christ. Back years ago, people used to get rid of fuckers like that. They would just vanish, okay? We used to know how to deal with goddamn nut jobs like that. Now we don't do a goddamn thing, Our country is so screwed. And when our country's screwed, the world is going to get screwed over as well. So I hope the rest of the world is paying attention, and be glad you're not Americans because you don't want to come move in this country now. Stay the fuck out of this country because it's going right down into the shithole come November. So anyway, I'm going to close this video up here, and it seems like, there's not going to be a whole lot of motivation for me to want to continue to do more of these videos, especially now. The only thing I can do at this point now is catalog all the crap that's going to happen now and what's coming down the pipe, basically. Because the Democrats just threw in the towel. It's all over. I'm not gonna waste time, buttering you up and saying, oh, it's there's hope. I'm not gonna lie to you. There ain't no hope now. The money's pulling out, and everything about politics in this country is about fucking money. Okay, when you got no money, you got no race, you got no candidate, you got nothing. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, so that's it. So anyone still wants to watch it, subscribe, comment, and share, and keep your ears open for any health-related issues, and treat each other nice out there, even as times get murky and murkier. It still matters even at the end. that we don't lose our humanity even as our government does. So just treat each other nice. We got to start somewhere. So take care, everybody.